You ever notice how humans love to say, "We've come a long way"? Oh yeah, we love that phrase. You'll hear it everywhere. On TV, at graduation ceremonies, in campaign speeches. We've come a long way as a species. Really? A long way from what? Because as far as I can tell, we've just been running in circles with nicer shoes. We didn't evolve. We just upgraded the packaging. The human race keeps saying it's moving forward, but somehow the scenery never changes. We keep ending up in the same spot, confused, exhausted, and still arguing about who gets the armrest on the planet. We've had thousands of years of history, kings, queens, empires, revolutions, presidents, popes, the whole lineup. And somehow, we still haven't figured out how to share the sandbox. We've built cathedrals, space shuttles, and social networks, but we can't build a world where everyone gets lunch. We've had enough time to learn how to make fire, write poetry, and invent microwaves that can turn leftovers into a gourmet meal. Yet we still can't stop repeating the same dumb patterns. It's like humanity has collective amnesia. We keep saying, "Well, never do that again." Then, boom, we do it again, but with better marketing. We slap a new label on it and call it progress. This time it's different. No, it's not. It's the same song, different verse, and the chorus is always, "We didn't see this coming." Of course, you didn't. You never do. We tell ourselves we're smarter now because we've got gadgets. We've got little glass rectangles that can find any fact in the world in 2 seconds flat, but somehow we still argue about everything. We have information at our fingertips, but we're using those fingers to scroll through pictures of cats in costumes and people arguing about pineapple on pizza. The great promise of technology was knowledge for everyone. What we got was memes and people yelling in all caps. And let's talk about those memes for a second. They're like cave paintings for the digital age. Thousands of years ago, humans drew buffalo on cave walls to tell the story of their hunt. Today, we post a picture of a grumpy cat with the words, "Mondays." Am I right? That's our version of artistic expression. We've gone from painting the birth of civilization to complaining about our coffee being cold, and we call it content. Yeah, we've come a long way. History keeps giving us the same pop quiz, and we keep failing it. It's like the universe is saying, "Name one lesson you've actually learned," and humanity just stares at the paper, sweating, hoping for multiple choice. Every century, we get a chance to do better, and every century, we manage to find a new way to mess it up. We had empires rise and fall, revolutions that promise freedom, and every single time, somebody ends up saying, "You know what this place needs? A leader who looks suspiciously like the last one." We love to look back and shake our heads at history too. Oh, those people in the past were so primitive. Yeah, well, guess what? Someday, future people are going to look at us and say the same thing. Can you believe they used to pay money to talk to robots? And they called it progress. They'll be baffled that we had electric cars, solar panels, and still managed to argue about whether the planet was worth saving. And don't even get me started on education. We've built massive institutions to teach people about the past, but somehow the lessons never stick. We memorize the dates, the names, the wars, the treaties, and we walk out thinking history is just something that happened. Nobody tells us that it's something still happening. Every generation thinks they're the ones who finally figured it out. We're different, they say. Yeah, sure you are. So we're the ones before you. They had the same speeches, the same optimism, the same sense of self-importance. And look how that turned out. We've always been obsessed with the idea of the future. We love to imagine flying cars, robot assistants, world peace. The future is our favorite fantasy land. But the truth is we've never really left the past. We've just added fi. Every new gadget is supposed to set us free. Radios, televisions, computers, cell phones, and somehow each one just finds a new way to keep us distracted. Humanity doesn't move forward, it just changes the channel. We used to worship gods, now we worship algorithms. We used to have prophets, now we have influencers. The robes got shorter, the sermons got louder, but it's the same show. People still line up, clap their hands, and follow whoever promises a better tomorrow. Usually someone selling vitamins or mindset coaching. The human race doesn't need salvation anymore. It needs a decent Wi-Fi connection and a 5-star rating. And that's the real kicker. We don't learn because we don't want to learn. Learning takes time. It takes reflection. And we're too busy running around pretending we're evolving. We've got places to be, meetings to attend, selfies to take. Humanity treats wisdom like it's optional, like it's a subscription service you can cancel after the free trial. Oh, we tried compassion for a week. Didn't work out. Let's go back to competition. We say we want peace, but we design our entire society around stress. We say we want truth, but we can't handle being wrong. We say we want equality, but we still believe some people are just better. We talk about unity, but everyone wants their own version of it. It's the same pattern over and over again, just dressed up in new words. Instead of tribes, we have teams. Instead of kingdoms, we have brands. Instead of fighting with swords, we fight with opinions. And those hurt just as much, only slower. And let's not pretend we're any better at seeing the big picture now. We've got satellite images of the entire planet, but most people can't see past their own front lawn. We've mapped the stars, split the atom, and decoded the human genome. but we still can't figure out how to get along at Thanksgiving. That's not evolution. That's creative stagnation. We like to think that progress is measured in inventions, but it's really measured in awareness. And that's the part we keep skipping. We build things faster than we understand them. We move forward without asking where we're going. It's like the species is on a treadmill, sweating, panting, burning calories, but never actually leaving the gym. And every few generations, we stop for a moment, look around, and say, how did we end up here again? And the answer is always the same, because we never stopped to ask why we started running in the first place. We keep thinking we're chasing the future, but really, the future's been chasing us, and it's getting tired of watching us circle the same track. So here we are, the great human race, billions of people sprinting in every direction, convinced we're heading somewhere new, when really we're just carving deeper grooves into the same old path. We've built rockets to the moon, phones in our pockets, and machines that think. But not once have we figured out how to stop, breathe, and say, maybe we've done this part before. Until we learn that simple truth, that motion isn't progress, that repetition isn't evolution, we'll keep running the same lap, generation after generation, convinced the finish line is just around the bend. And you know what's funny? When we finally reach it, we'll probably paint a new line and start running again. You ever notice how everyone these days is busy? That's the favorite word of modern civilization. Busy. People wear it like a badge of honor. You ask somebody how they're doing, and they don't say, I'm fine, anymore. They say, oh, I'm busy. Like you're supposed to bow down. Oh, busy! Congratulations! You must be important. Everyone's in a hurry. Nobody knows why. And somehow, that's become normal. We've turned life into a giant track meet. And nobody knows what lap we're on. We've built a world that runs on caffeine, deadlines, and a constant sense of panic. We wake up with an alarm, not a good morning, an alarm. The same word they use for fires, break-ins, and nuclear meltdowns. That's how every day starts. Good morning. You're late. We jump out of bed like we're escaping a crime scene, pour liquid anxiety into a mug, and start sprinting through another round of the great human hamster race. And we call this progress. Oh yeah, we're advanced. We've got phones that fit in our pockets, computers thinner than pancakes, and watches that tell us we're not walking enough. Everything's faster. Communication, transportation, even disappointment. We don't have time to be bored anymore, but somehow everyone's miserable. We're living in the age of convenience, and nobody's convenient. We're obsessed with speed. Fast food, fast internet, fast results. We don't even cook anymore. We microwave. And if that takes more than 2 minutes, we stand there like the machine owes us rent money. Simon, what's taking so long? It's soup, not surgery. We've become so impatient that the only time people slow down is when they're pretending to meditate for their social media bio. We move fast, but we don't move forward. We're running in every direction at once, chasing goals, chasing dreams, chasing our own tails. We've got planners, schedules, productivity apps, and motivational quotes, but no time to actually live. We don't enjoy things. We optimize them. We don't rest. We recharge. Everything's a system, a hack, a life strategy. People can't even take a walk without tracking it. Look, I burned 200 calories. Yeah, but you also burned your sense of wonder. The world's become one giant to-do list. Every minute is monetized. Every hobby is a side hustle. You can't just like something anymore. You've got to market it. Oh, you bake cookies? No, I'm a cookie entrepreneur. Everything's a brand. Even people are brands now. Be your own brand, they say. No, thanks. I'm already tired being my own person. We've mistaken being busy for being alive. We think the faster we move, the more important we are. People brag about how little sleep they get. Oh, I only got 4 hours last night. Like it's an Olympic sport. Oh yeah, I didn't sleep at all. Well, congratulations. You're still tired and annoying. We glorify stress. We treat exhaustion like it's ambition. Look at me. I'm exhausted. I must be achieving something? No, you're just tired, pal. You're not a warrior. You're just dehydrated. We treat burnout like it's a milestone. We even have energy drinks for it. The cans are the size of fire extinguishers. Stay awake. Stay alert. Stay miserable. And everyone's multitasking. Oh, we love that word, multitasking. It makes people feel efficient, like they're operating a nuclear reactor instead of reheating leftovers while texting their boss and scrolling through nonsense. Humans weren't built to multitask. We can barely walk and chew gum at the same time. But now we think we can email, drive, eat, and philosophize all at once. You can't. You're not a robot. You're a slightly nervous mammal with too much coffee. Every invention that was supposed to save us time ended up stealing it. We've got faster ways to talk, but nobody's listening. We've got GPS to tell us where to go, but nobody knows where they're headed. We've got instant communication, but our attention spans are shorter than a goldfish's vacation. Technology didn't free us. It just gave us digital leashes. And we're all wagging along, pretending we're in charge. Even our relaxation is competitive now. Did you try that new spa? Oh yeah, I did the deluxe Himalayan lavender sensory deprivation float experience. We can't even relax without turning it into a performance. We've turned peace into a product. We buy scented candles with names like tranquil meadow and calm essence, light them up, and then check our phones every 30 seconds. That's not tranquility. That's aromatherapy with anxiety. We used to dream about having free time. Now, when we get it, we don't know what to do. People can't sit still for 5 minutes. You ever see someone waiting in line without looking at their phone? It's like spotting a unicorn. The moment life pauses, people panic. I've got a minute. What do I do? You could just exist for a second. No. I've got to refresh my email. Something might have happened. Yeah, something did happen. You wasted another minute of your life refreshing the same nothing. We've built a society that rewards constant movement, even if it's meaningless. People sprint through careers they don't like, chasing promotions they don't need so they can buy stuff they don't want to impress people they don't even know. It's the great human treadmill, everyone running, nobody arriving. We measure success in steps, swipes, and screens. You can literally track your progress on your phone, but you'll never know what you're progressing toward. And we keep pretending this is freedom. I'm free. I can do anything, anytime. Yeah, except stop. Stopping feels like failure now. People get anxious when they're not productive. If you take a day off, someone says, "So what did you do?" And you can't say, "Nothing," because that sounds lazy. You've got to make it sound important. "Oh, I was doing self-care." Self-care. You took a nap. You don't need a certificate for that. We've forgotten that stillness is a part of motion. You can't run forever. Even machines need downtime, but the modern world doesn't allow that. We've got 24-hour everything, stores, news, entertainment. You can't escape the noise. There's always something blinking, buzzing, or beeping. The world's like a giant casino, and we're all just trying to find the exit. And the funniest part, nobody knows who started the race. There's no referee, no finish line, no prize. Just billions of people running in circles, trying to get somewhere faster than everyone else. And when they finally stop to catch their breath, they realize they're in the same spot they started. The only thing that changed was the amount of coffee they consumed along the way. We've mistaken movement for meaning. We've built a culture where slowing down feels rebellious. You want to confuse someone in today's world. Tell them you're happy doing nothing. Watch their face melt. Nothing. But what are your goals? Goals? I'm just trying to digest lunch. We treat relaxation like it's a crime and ambition like it's oxygen. That's not balance. That's madness. And yet, here we are, every morning, millions of people sprinting out of bed to chase a dream they can't even describe. They rush through breakfast, rush through work, rush home, rush to relax, rush to bed, and call it a day. Then they wake up and do it all over again. It's not a life. It's a loop. Humanity's not living. It's buffering. The truth is, the faster we go, the more we miss. The moments that matter. The small, quiet, ridiculous human things. They only show up when you slow down long enough to see them. But we don't. We keep running, thinking if we move fast enough, we'll finally arrive. We never realize that arriving was never the point. The race itself is the illusion, and that's the irony of the whole thing. We keep running to prove we're alive when the only time we actually feel alive is when we stop. You ever notice how everyone keeps running, but nobody's actually going anywhere? We sprint, we hustle, we multitask like maniacs. And for what? A promotion, likes on a photo. Another mug with a motivational quote that says, "Be awesome today. We're all chasing something, but most of the time, we don't even know what it is." That's the beauty of the human race. We're so busy, we've forgotten the part where you're supposed to notice where you are. We've been running in circles for centuries, and here's the kicker. The exit has always been a matter of paying attention, not going faster. So how do you break the circle? First step, stop pretending that speed equals progress. We live in a culture where moving faster is considered smart. People brag about how early they wake up, how many hours they work, how many things they can do at once. I can answer emails, cook dinner, and argue on the internet all at the same time? Wow. You're multitasking yourself straight into a nervous breakdown. The truth is, running faster doesn't get you anywhere if you're running in a circle. You've got to slow down long enough to see the circle. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels while the world laughs at you. And slowing down doesn't have to be boring. People think awareness means sitting quietly with a candle and chanting in a funny language. Nope. Awareness is noticing the ridiculousness of the everyday. It's seeing the absurdity in your routines and saying, "You wait a minute, why am I doing this?" Like realizing you spend more time deciding what to watch on Netflix than actually watching anything. Or noticing that your smartphone can do a million amazing things, but you mostly use it to argue with strangers about pineapple on pizza. Awareness is spotting the patterns in the chaos, laughing at them, and then choosing not to repeat them. Breaking the circle also means looking at your own life like it's a game you can actually cheat at. Most people think life is a marathon with a set route. Run fast, cross the line, hope it counts. But here's a secret: there's no route. You make the route. You can step off the track, walk backwards, or even sit down for a minute and eat a sandwich. And that's perfectly fine. You'll find that once you step off, the world doesn't collapse. The treadmill keeps spinning, people keep running, but you've just bought yourself some clarity. That's what awareness gives you, the ability to see that the rules were never written in stone. Now, here's where most people mess it up. They think awareness is some kind of a permanent state you reach after meditating for 12 hours. Wrong. Awareness is like a muscle. You have to use it, and sometimes it hurts. You notice things you didn't want to notice, like how much time you waste doing things that don't matter, or how often you say yes when you mean no, or how your calendar is full of stuff you don't even like just because someone else thinks it's important. Awareness is uncomfortable because it points out the truth that the human race is basically a hamster wheel with better shoes. But here's the beauty of it. Once you start noticing the patterns, you can choose differently. You can say, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. And I don't mean quitting your job, selling your house, and moving to a cabin in the woods. Although that sounds nice too. I mean small stuff, like not checking your phone the second it buzzes, like not letting the next email ruin your mood, like noticing the absurdity of your own overthinking and laughing at it. That's progress. It's not flashy, but it's effective. And the more you practice it, the easier it gets to step out of the circle before it runs you over. We've built our entire world around acceleration. But think about it. What does it really get us? Faster cars, faster computers, faster vacations, faster ways to get sick from too much fast food. Speed isn't the point. Movement isn't the point. Awareness is the point. Being conscious of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and whether it actually matters, that's the difference between a life on autopilot and a life that counts. And the funny thing is, once you start practicing that, people will think you're lazy. He's doing nothing all day. Nope. I'm just choosing not to spin in circles. There's a difference. And it's contagious too. When you start noticing the patterns, you start seeing them in others. You see how your friends rush around buying things they don't need, trying to impress people they barely like. You see how society celebrates business over wisdom. You see the ridiculousness in all the motivational posters that tell you to grind harder while everyone around you is grinding themselves into an early grave, and you get to laugh at it, and laughing. I mean, really laughing is one of the best ways to break the circle. Humor is awareness wearing a party hat. It's the reminder that, yes, we've been doing this all wrong, but at least we can notice it before it's too late. Breaking the circle also means being honest about your own desires. So much of the human race is spent doing what everyone else thinks you should do. We follow careers we don't like, relationships that aren't healthy, routines that don't make sense, all because we're afraid of standing still and looking at ourselves. Awareness is saying, I'm doing this because I want to, not because someone told me to. And suddenly, life gets a little lighter. a little funnier, a little more human. And if you do it right, you don't just break the circle, you start making your own track. And here's another thing, breaking the circle doesn't mean you become perfect. It doesn't mean you stop making mistakes. You still will. You'll still waste time. You'll still panic. You'll still check your email when you should be enjoying a sandwich. But awareness gives you the option to recognize it, to laugh at it, and to do something different next time. That's the whole point. Not to run faster, not to achieve more, but to choose differently, to stop letting momentum control you and start using your own mind for a change. Most people are terrified of slowing down. They think if they're not moving, they're failing. But here's the truth. Slowing down is the first step to going anywhere meaningful. You can sprint all day and still end up at the same place you started. You can spend your life chasing success, chasing money, chasing approval, and never actually live. But if you stop, notice, and choose, suddenly you realize the finish line was never a location, it was awareness itself. And the best part, awareness doesn't run out. You can use it as much as you want, and it only gets better with practice. And you know what else is funny? Once you start breaking the circle, you start seeing everyone else running around like maniacs, and you think, oh, poor fools. They don't know they can get off. And then you realize that used to be you. And that's hilarious too, because the human race is always running in circles, and the first step to freedom is noticing that the circle exists. After that, the rest is just common sense, sprinkled with ladder. And let's not forget, breaking the circle is not just about yourself. Awareness spreads. Once you start noticing things, you start influencing others. You stop supporting pointless routines, ridiculous expectations, and absurd races that nobody asked you to join. You set an example, not by preaching, but by simply existing differently. And that's revolutionary in the quietest, funniest, most human way possible. You don't need banners or speeches. Just eyes open, mouth occasionally smirking, and a willingness to say, I'm done running in circles today. And here's the last thing. The human race doesn't need another invention, another app, or another motivational seminar. We need awareness. Not the fancy kind with incense and yoga mats, the simple kind that makes you go, wait a second. I've been doing this for years, and it's stupid. That kind. Awareness is realizing that the race isn't real, the pressure is imaginary, and the finish line was never there. Once you realize that, you get off the track, take a breath, and maybe, just maybe, walk in a new direction. Because when it comes down to it, the choice is yours. Keep running in circles, or stop long enough to notice the scenery, laugh at the absurdity, and actually go somewhere that matters.